la la la. La 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 la. La 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 la. I represent Bahamian people. I from Nassau, Bahamas, big up me. Where I from, Dayton, bro. Right between West and Augusta, where them two roads meet, they call it Wilkinson Street. Manners and respect was like a sign blank check. It seems the ones that coming after quick to disrespect. You see, this life in the ghetto never easy. So many hungry days break till it breathe me. Way I doing the best I can, trying to turn my dollar to 100 grand. I represent the ghetto people. I from Nassau, Bahamas, big up Dayton, bro. Where I from, Dayton, bro. Don't take no back talk, no bribe or no joke. If you find fire, you definitely find smoke. Dayton, bro. Where I from, Dayton, bro. Dayton, I say up and running. Caliban say my show boy don't ever give in. 7 years of farming, watch the crops them coming.
Good night and welcome to Guardian Radio 969. It's a wonderful Friday and it's a pleasure yet again to be here on a wonderful Friday on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. I am your host, Valentino Scrooge, MP, JP. So many names are being given over the years because of my contribution to the development, not only of my community, but my country. Telephone numbers tonight on this wonderful station are 323-6232, 325-4316, and 325-4259. And it's a pleasure to be a host of the talk show inside the inner city that premieres, like I say, every Friday at 6:30 to 8 p.m. And we talk about finding alternative solutions to the country's problem, especially in the inner city communities. And what we like to try to do is get the callers who are doing an extremely great job of contributing to having a wonderful conversation where they could contribute to make sure that we're on par and to let the powers to be in the country that we're looking for improvements in the country's trajectory. On today's show, we're going to talk about some incidents that are happening in the country and things that we need to pay close attention to in order for us to move forward. And we're going to begin the show tonight. We're going to talk about, there was an uproar, I think, about last week about the sentence of an individual who got, I think, less than 9 years for sexual assault of an elderly in the country, and that, the penalty should be stiffened. And then we also had a young man was killed with his son in his hand. And many people are outraged to see that. How could individuals seeing the young gentleman standing up with his baby in his hand, didn't have no regard for the child's life and, eventually killed the young man with his son in his hand. And many people were questioning the mentality of the criminality and the methods they're using, the brutality. And there's many wondering what's the next step for us. But I just like to say this, there were comments made by, let me get the newspaper. Let me see what his name is. Senator Hanfield made some remarks last week after the unfortunate demise of a young gentleman who was killed with his child in his hand. He called for that penalty to be reinforced. And then there was a minister from the Progressive Liberal Party who responded back and said that, when you guys were in charge of the government a few years ago before the general election, you guys, did not proceed with the death penalty. So why all of a sudden now that you're in opposition and you were the government, you did nothing? I mean, why you know what now that you're the opposition, you're speaking on it like you ain't had no type of power or jurisdiction to resume hanging in the country. And it's back and forth, and this the kind of reality we are facing in the country where we have intelligent gentlemen on both sides. They're representing their party, but are their interests for the Bahamian people? Because it seems to me that Mr. Hanfield, he has no understanding that the death penalty, enforcing the death penalty, is not going to make a difference right now in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. Reason why? We have let it go on too far, where we are being corrupted on the police force, being corrupted on the streets, being corrupted in the prison, being corrupted with the young youth growing up in the country, okay? And we have become a conflict zone per 100,000 persons, especially when you're having 100 murders per year. That makes it a conflict zone. So if you're looking for the death penalty right now to happen, where you're going to take an individual for the heinous crime that he or she committed in the country to go and hang them, and you expect that to deter the murderers, and you're talking about murderers in the country, it's not going to make a difference. Reason why? I'm speaking on these things from experience. We have police who would go out there, serve in the country in many of the cases, besides the corruption that's being swirling in the country. But we have police officers who go there on a nightly basis, and they have close encounter with some very dangerous, at-risk young guys and females in the country, because now you have females also involved in violent crimes in the country. And, you're gonna have altercations like this until we solve it, until we bring down that penalty that we've been labeled as in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas per 100,000 person per capita. All right? So we're going to have encounters where some murders, some shooting incidents that involve police officers are justifiable, but there are many that we know that are not unjustifiable. And for that, we would like for the police to speak on those matters. But say the confrontation is real out there for officers, and vice versa. So, of course, you're going to have more incidents like this in the country. And this is not going to deter, because the police goes out there and on their duties, some, like I say, justifiable, right? And some unjustifiable, right? But does this stop the next gentleman who we're going to hear in the next hour, the next day, from doing a serious crime of murder or armed robbery or assault? It does not slow that down. It doesn't. The police just killed somebody tonight, and later on in the next hour, we're going to hear where the next suspect who involved in illegal activity, he is not going to pay attention to the police just killing someone just like him who probably was shooting at a car, and the police gave chase, and they were able to encounter the individuals, and the gunfire erupted, resulting in one of the assailants or the suspects being killed on the spot. Does this stop the other criminals who are roaming the streets of Nassau around the country at that particular time? You're expecting them, that when you had the police kill somebody who was toting gun, you expect that to rattle them and scare them for them not to go out there and do a heinous act? No. See, the thing is, what people need to understand out there is that that's you who got shot from the police. So in my mind, I'm not thinking that is going to happen to me. See, that's the mindset of being, when evil consume you, it has you thinking stupid. You're not thinking straight. If it could happen, then why it can't happen to you? But in their minds, that individual, he is saying that's him. I'm not going to make that mistake that guy made for him to get in corner with the police. I'm going to do something differently. And that's what most people who are involved in violent crime, that's the mentality of their mindset. And because of that, we have to change the mindset. So hanging is not going to change nothing in the country because we're too far gone. You understand? We're far gone in the country, for us to, really make a dent with hanging. In fact, let me just give my opinion. I feel that if we're gonna hang, if we feel it's gonna be deterrent to the next generation, then I suggest that we look at the voice of the voice. If they have not exalted all their appeals, and their appeals, has run out, if that's the case, and there's enough evidence to say that this person is guilty. I don't want to see no one get hanged. That's just my personal view, right? But if the law wants to carry it out, I'm for that. But for me to say hanging one person is going to make this country, with all this violent crime in this country, that one hanging, or one suspect, or one criminal in Fox Hill Prison, right, is going to change the directory of the mindset of this country, you got to be joking, like Celine Pillin say. I suggest to the powers to be, Mr. Hanfield, if he has this big talk in his mouth and he wants to hang, let me tell him something. He needs to hang at least 10 or 20 people at a time. Then I think that would be a deterrent to the next generation. You understand? Because like I said, we have 100 plus murders every year. We on 90-something now. I mean, look to hit 100. So if you think hanging one person or hanging is going to change the directory of the mindset, you all get something big coming. No, the devil is loose. And we have to find a way of revoicing the devil way of thinking in this country. So I don't think our political leaders really understand what they're talking about. They think they're trying to make a point for publicity. Because I think they don't I don't think they don't do their research. I don't think they listen to the news. I don't think they understand the prisons, how the prison affect us here, living in the country alone. I don't think they understand. So just recently, the Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas said, after a recent shooting where a young man was killed holding his young baby, and then an elderly woman was, I think, and the court has given the suspect 9 years in prison. That started an outcry. But I just want to play this clip now, and I also give a shout to my boy Elroy and let him know, and I know he's listening, and I know he say this government does not care about the Bahamian people. I was trying to get the flick that you gave me the audio clip that you gave me to play, but I was unable because I can't put it in the system as of today, but I will be able to play it next week if you're listening. So I just want to play something that is going to start the show, and then we're going to continue it from here on in. Go ahead, Mr. Dusa, Chris.
5 University of the Bahamas students received $10,000 each from the Champs Medici Arts Fund, founded by Cordell Broadus, who is the son of American rapper Snoop Dogg. The fund is in partnership with the Tezos Foundation. The students created visual art and musical compositions, which are minted with NFTs using the Tezos blockchain. Broadus, who is also known as Champ Medici, says the Bahamas is the first country he visited at age 11, and he wanted to empower other black students.
And this place just mean a lot to me. It was like one of the first places I went to. It was all black people and everybody working together and doing great things. And, we came here for vacation, but I think I left with, some energy that I wanted to do something with. And later down the line, when this opportunity came through Shiv, the Bahamas was the first place that I had in mind to do this particular thing. And just because I know you guys don't get the proper recognition either. And, it's not, good to be late to the party. especially when it comes to technology. And right now we're in the digital. So, doing something like this is to keep it, in the front of y'all minds. You guys are extremely creative, y'all young, and, we feel like putting this in front of y'all can give y'all a skill set that y'all can, earn a real financial living later down the line.
The Arts Fund donated $100,000 to UB earlier this year to bolster the university's music and arts division. $50,000 of that was awarded to Arts Fund recipients Madison Cartwright, Alyssa Pinder, Nelson Gray, Jean Joseph, and Nisha Pinder, who thanked the Champs Medici Fund for giving them this opportunity.
If I knew I got to say something, I would have had in advance, but I'm just really thankful for this because I put a lot of effort into it. Whew. Sorry, my heart's racing. Like, ooh. Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you.
You can let the work speak for itself. It's all good.
Take a picture with it.
Okay, about the work. So originally it was supposed to be like a girl in a strawberry field, like fighting. But then I wasn't working, so I went with this, which is more chill and relaxed.
I'm very, very happy. I'm so thankful to you for giving us this opportunity to showcase our skills. This piece is very important to me. I would say it's sort of like a culmination of the near 10 years I've been studying art.
There's so many people I can thank, but most importantly, thank you for giving the arts this opportunity, and it really means so much to us.
Vice President of Academic Affairs Maria Woodside Oriaki says this initiative highlights the synergy between technology and artistry.
This groundbreaking NFT competition made possible through the visionary support of Mr. Cordell Brodus and the Champ Medici Art Fund in partnership with Tezo Foundation has done exactly that. It is with immense pride that we recognize the hard work, creativity, and innovation of our students. Their winning projects represents the next wave of digital art rooted in blockchain technology, with each work minted in the Tezos blockchain.
Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Vonik Toot.
Yes, and caller, I'm going to let you have a say in a minute or so. Just let me give this little comment. Snoop Dogg's son, has his foundation, and he was traveling to the Bahamas, and he came here at the age of 11. And what he saw is the same thing I've been saying. We fought against the British, then we fought against the UBP, and then we got majority rule, right? We get self-governance, even though we got independence, not independence, all right? It's self-governance, not completely independent, because if you listen to the father of the nation, Sir Lyndon Oscar Pindon, he told you self-governance, okay? We're still a part of the British Empire. You understand? We just running our affairs in the country, and we could use that for our benefit. Even though England is who we sign a contract on to, and they were the oppressor, we still now have a chance in the next 50 years, starting from now, right, to make a difference and use the system for our benefit, because they give it to us, and we sign a treaty with them. And what are we supposed to do now, since that the British has left our shores? Yes, they might be still controlling from the outside, but inside, we still have some power that we can use to change the mindset of the individuals in our country. And how can we do that? We have to start empowering our young youths. Snoop Dogg's son came here at the age of 11. He saw the potentials, and what he said, all black people working together. And what he saw is when he was traveling and he went to the university, he saw the talent of the university students, the University of the Bahamas. As he traveled, he was traveling with the taxi drivers and in the limos and in the hotels. He saw the creativity, and he decided to start helping people with art, giving them scholarship. And the first place he came was to the Bahamas, because he was intrigued to see that we're all black here in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. So why aren't we, even we are governing ourselves in the country, But we have this backroom where we're attacking one another because of political affiliation, and we're not using our true potentials. And because we're not using our true potential, we are slowly losing our country. But we have the potentials to carry this country forward as long as we have persons like Snoop Dogg's son coming in. He's seeing the potential. And he come in, he gave 5 or 6 students $100,000 so they could go and have the finance they need to start their art program, along with digital currency. This is a plus, and this is what we need. We need to be creative and assist our younger kids in the country to fulfill their dreams and aspirations. And then you never know what's going to happen after that. So we're going to take this call, and then I'm going to go to my second video clip. Go ahead, call if you're still there. You're on Inside the City.
How you doing?
I'm fine.
Good show. Very interesting topic. I must say I am a long-time listener. I think this may be the first time I've called your show, but I always text. And you had an interesting topic today, but today is one time I have to disagree with you on your viewpoint.
No, go ahead. I have no problem with it. Go ahead.
I know you mentioned that capital punishment is not really a deterrence, as to say it won't stop what we have going on.
Yes, sir.
However, the word deterrence means to discourage an action.
Yes, sir.
It's not, a lot of time persons in the general won't stop anything, as to say that's what they market it as it'll stop it completely. No, it's there to be a consequence for you breaking the law and committing such a heinous act.
Yes, sir.
Right? Also, capital punishment serve as a, word is escaping me now, but just like a counterbalance to say life for life, that it sets a value on life. Means you can't go around taking life and just going to sit down in jail for 7 years. That's not fair.
I agree with you.
So it serves as a counterbalance to say, okay, you commit this crime, this is your end. The reason why we can have persons, once in a while we hear shooting with the police and it ends in a death, because those guys are foolish, because, hey, these police officers train to shoot. They practice. So when you go in a battle with them, you looking to die. You prepare to die because that can be the most likely outcome. However, that's not a regular occurrence to hear someone shooting with the police, so it's a chance. So the other criminals probably thinking, yeah, they dumped away and you're shooting the police. We could just run, or we can just sit in jail. But when we put a standard in place that says, okay, you do this, this is your end, it will change the mindset of the others who are doing it. Because if we do statistically, let's say out of every 100,000 Bahamians, there's maybe, 50 murderers, because I know it's less murderers than law-abiding citizens. So if you take one off the block and you keep taking one off the board, we reduce how many killers out there killing. Consequence for their actions, they only get to sit down in jail for a couple of years. They come right back out thinking they're the baddest man on the planet. Now, I also would say that in addition to capital punishment, we need to introduce laws that will really protect citizens, and we need to do something with our educational system, because we need to educate the people.
Yes, sir.
This is why we also have a lot of crime. And not just like the fancy university stuff, just everyday
basic
life
training.
Stuff we need to put in the schools, things that they'll benefit them. Because a lot of things we teach in the school, we don't use in real life.
Yes, sir.
You know, and persons want to make it, but the system just, in the way how everything block up.
Yes, sir. That's what. Okay, I can let you finish. Go ahead. When you're making some good points, go ahead.
Everything is blocked up.
That's what I'm talking about. See, go ahead. Go ahead.
You know, there's no place to move. And if I want a good life, and there's no other means, then when another means come about, I take it.
Yes, sir.
So we need to definitely re-educate.
Yes,
and
sir.
we definitely need to make more opportunities for people so we could cut down this crime, because we need other avenues.
Yes, sir.
Even like persons in jail now. If we could do like, say, go in school, go into jail cells, and say, okay, who could read, who could write, who could add, subtract, and teach them while they're in jail, while they sit down and learn to do more crimes. So this was another way we could use to help deter crime too.
Yes, sir.
But we need to have the ultimate capital punishment on for this.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. We finished, and the gentleman is completely correct. And just to add something on to what he's saying, I'm not against capital punishment. I'm just explaining, like how he said, you know, there's a lot of backlogging cases and stuff like that. And with 100 murders per year, and if we're going to hang 1 or 2, and then we have 100 murders per year. And the gentleman is right when he said that could decrease on the murders we have in the prison. But I'm saying to you, with all this corrupt, right, with all the appeals, right, I'm saying now, with all this, with us having phones in the prison, okay, with us having drugs getting shipped in the prison, we can't even get a control on the prison, right? There are people who get raped in the prison, okay? Drugs get bring in the prison, right? From prisoner officials, from prisoners, from family members, right? Then we have the court system, right? We're so backlogged, and we have 100 murders per year. So I'm just saying this because I know the consequences of how corrupted our system is, and like I said, we only could prosecute about 16 or 17 murder cases per year by the Supreme Court, and then we have cases that have been going on for years and years and years. So yes, capital punishment can be a deterrent, but I'm saying hanging one person for one particular crime in this country right now, when we have 100 murders per year, and then we have so many murderers on the streets of Nassau, New Providence right now. I'm not saying that one. If we want to deter, let's say we pop 10 a time. 10. And we old school, right? And we tell them, say, this is what this person did. This person raped grandmother. It could be anyone grandmother. He shot her, right? And because we did the procedure, police locked him up, we get all the evidence, he exhausted all his appeal, this is the reason now he is getting hanged. Yes, that's what I'm for. All right, then we get somebody else, so we're going to old school, we're going to make this a public holiday, and then we can see some people shit themselves up. That's what I'm talking about, because I live on the streets, and people see people get killed every day, and I ain't scared of nobody. Like, right now, let me give you a little prime example. Call I come to you right now. Just the same way we're talking about hanging. So we was having a discussion the other day, and this one saying, people don't respect killers no more. Why people don't respect killers no more? Because everyone killing. So everyone say this, if you want to be respected, if you want to be a respected killer right now in the country, because killing one person don't make a difference, you ain't scared of nobody, because you yourself will be killed. Killing two persons ain't gonna make a difference, because you yourself could get killed, because there's a lot of retaliation, killing going on. Someone say, man, you know what you gotta do? Say you gotta go out there, and if you want to really be a killer, you gotta go out there and kill 100 people at a time, then people will respect it, because killing one or two. So it even going from a killer killing, like, it ain't facing nobody now. So people saying you got to kill more people if you want to be. So it's a mess up way of thinking in our country. And God, I completely agree with you. The only thing I'm saying is that, one, it's not going to be a deterrent. Let's do 10 at a time. We get their record. We get the crime they committed. What year they did it. So we tell the school children. We tell everyone in the country. And if anyone else follow in the footstep of how these gentlemen acted, he or she, male or female, acted, then they yourself will be inclined to get the same thing. And then we pop the neck where everyone can see, like on the fort, your old school, and let everyone come there. Yeah, that's the way to deter. That's my 2 cents. We can take this next call. Go ahead, caller.
Yeah, bless this Scrooge, inner city ambassador.
Yes, brother.
I don't want to say ghetto youth ambassador. I have to say inner city, because we cover everybody, right?
Yes, sir.
We're not selfish, but the last caller, at the age 60, what he said was totally aphoristic. I can't deny anything he's saying. The only thing I disagreed with what he was saying was, well, I guess he was meaning education, like how we show off with it, right? But education, I use my education, right? But I was not indoctrinated. So I had a conversation with Aaron and CAUE earlier today, and it was the re-education of the plantation education, right?
Yes, sir.
So I disagree in that sense, because we need to re-educate ourselves, but I know just what he means, but everything else he said was totally correct.
Yes.
And I always, if we keep saying capital punishment is not a deterrent, then it would seem that way, right? But I know within myself right now, Scrooge, me and you, we go up on the road, right? If the ghetto youth them here, they pop in next right now, but some of them go fall in line. And some can get leave behind, but if they pop in next, and if the example what you give with old school, and you go downtown and you see where we're hanging, you think they ain't gonna start that talking among
That's what I'm talking about. That'll be determined.
Yeah, that's the deterrent right now. They live in a dream. So,
yes.
So what I say is, when I listen to your program, like how we talking about, something I realize, Koji.
Yes, sir.
We are being neglected for so long. Like, let's look at the inner city, like the ideas what you're talking about. Like, these community centers, like workshops and teaching the children computer skills and all type of other entrepreneurial skills. And, I realized, like, service, if you, like, right now, like, at my age, so many ideas come into my mind. I was like, I'm mad I waste so much time, like, with other things. Like, right now, I could start a wallet-making factory. A dog, just make dog collars. Just because I learned how to sew and do upholstery, I could do a whole list of other things. I could do a lot of production.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? You not just do upholstery with marine, car, etc. But even right now, as I refurbish furniture and sell them, right? On a mass scale, like, because a lot of people moving into apartments and they don't really need new furniture, but, the furniture is just like new once you refurbish it, really. So that's a lot of market. But service industry, even if it's diesel mechanic, airplane mechanic, just any service, auto detailing, anything, it's like service industry is what brings money. You know how much money in landscaping right now, Scrooge?
Plenty of money in landscaping. That's what I do.
Because everyone's so lazy with their big belly and they don't catch the sunlight no more.
Hey, 52.
Man, listen, I'm telling you, Scrooge, service industry is what's happening.
Yeah.
But our people have been being taught that.
Yeah.
And so, as it relates to, like when he talked about the prison and thing, like, it was a good idea what he's talking about in the prison, but the fellas should be allowed to smoke a little weed in prison to keep their sanity, but because the prison officers carrying it enough for them anyhow, right? But they like to force the prison officers step, right? But like you say, whoever get raped in jail, I see it won't get raped in jail, you know what I mean? But to be honest with you, why I kind of agreed with him. Why I agreed with him so much so is because let's use the police force as an example. On us, they trample, right? They have been allowed to self-govern and run away with themselves for decades. Let's say the story of Marcel. You know, when I end up in the cell for Marcel, they just transfer people here and there, right? So it's still an ongoing thing, straight through. So what happens now? When you question anything they do, you become a problem. So they've been allowed to get away with themselves and get away with a whole heap of foolishness, right? Right?
Yes, sir, go ahead.
So much so that the story of this plane landing in Auckland, right? Is in the case is going on now, and it's in the Tribune, but it's on page number 6.
All right.
You see what I'm saying? But they don't want you to read it. But you need to. Somebody needs to read it on the air because it's the public business. It's in the Tribune, and what is in that is very disturbing. Okay, very, very much disturbing. But what is also disturbing is the officer mentioned was not charged for assault with a deadly weapon or any other peripheral crimes that he was duty neglected. You know what I'm saying? It's cool. You just read the story. It's in the Tribune. Nobody mentioned it. It's into oblivion. And we not, but you got other cases of plane lying in the dark in the middle of nowhere, right? Right?
Yeah, listen.
But yet still, these people are allowed to just get away, and everything goes into oblivion. So it's the same thing. They don't see any repercussions of trampling on people's civil liberties. They don't. It's as though they will continue. You don't see any implementation of cameras. You don't see anything. So the country's just been allowed to run away with itself in all aspects. Now let's move toward the beaches. The beaches. How they ostracize us into and corralling us now with access to the beaches, right? And so we have been sitting by possibly now. You see Maria Dotson and Dr. McGuire and etc. and Charlotte Green them out there by Paradise Island. Whatever saying they stole the last piece of property to the private and foreigners, and you don't have access to the beach, etc., etc., etc. So these are just blatant messages we see with Goodman, Spain, Goldman. So it is what it is, Scrooge. You see what I'm saying?
Bless her.
Yeah, bless her.
Yeah, and good comments, What a woman did some good comments. We're going to take this last call, and then we're going to continue the conversation. Go ahead, caller. You're on Inside the Inner City on Guardian Radio.
Good evening. How you doing, sir?
I'm fine.
All right. And good evening to you.
What say we said, Anton? Go ahead, Anton.
Right there, good. The ongoing training has been happening for quite some time in the prisons, and so that's nothing that's lacking, and it's been ramping up under the current minister, right? And so there is a focus on training of the mind to reduce recidivism in the prisons in our country, right? However, as you very well know, as someone who is connected to the streets, Scrooge, as I know, as someone who also has a lot of contacts, a lot of these guys, and this thing just happened. It's not a new phenomenon. It's something perhaps that's been existing for at least the last 20 years in our country. Men aren't afraid to do 20 years, to do 10, 15 years in prison for taking out someone who they believe needs to be addressed. And with the increase in the culture of persons committing heinous crimes in the country, and with the increase in the culture of people being paid to take out people in the country, these fellas aren't afraid to do 10, 15 years
No,
in
they're
prison,
not.
right? As a matter of fact, some of them wear it as an accomplishment
Yes.
on their shoulders, right? Which gives them a lot of street credit, right? In their view. And a lot of these guys, in many instances, especially with the increase of the use of exotic drugs in the commission of crimes, a lot of these guys are completely out of their mind, as you very well know, Scrooge.
Yes,
when
yes.
they are committing these crimes.
Fentanyl.
And so,
They're using fentanyl, all this stuff.
all kind of exotic drugs. And so when these guys get their weapons in their hands and they have their mission, they don't care about what time they're going to do or whatever the consequences
You're right.
may be.
You're right.
And even in many instances, some of these guys are hardened criminals. And so a lot of them have made up their minds that this is the lifestyle that they're going to live until such time as they're taken out, operating in the streets. And so these solutions that persons are recommending, it doesn't faze many of the guys who are committed to the life of
No,
crime
it doesn't.
in this
It
country.
doesn't. It doesn't.
They don't faze
The
them
hanging,
one way
that
or the
doom
other.
that I'm shooting at them does not faze them.
No, that's a part of the life that
They
they
live.
choose, and they enjoy that.
They have used to being getting
actually
shoot
enjoy
at.
that.
They used to being shoot at. They used to getting being in a lot of fights. They used to getting brutalized in the station. They
Right.
used to being so.
That's the cycle.
They'd
That's
already
the
got
cycle.
shot numerous times, 2, 3 times. Some of these guys get
Right.
shot 5, 6 times from. Listen, some of these guys are tough as when you watch the Cowboys movie. Tough.
Yeah.
Tough.
So Scrooge, you know exactly what time it is. I know what time it is.
Yes.
And I believe that, you know, even on the flip side of if you want to take it to hanging, right?
Go
Even
ahead.
on the flip side of
Because
that,
you're
right?
speaking. Go ahead.
Even on the flip side of hanging, Scrooge,
Mhm.
if the government gets back to hanging again, right?
Go ahead.
With all of these murders that are taking place in the country, and a lot of the instances where the Royal Bahamas Police Force have gathered sufficient evidence to place persons before the court, and with a lot of the convictions that are on the books, right?
Yes, sir.
Based on the police force closing the cases, right? With the evidence, right? Could you imagine now?
Good.
Could you imagine now the Bahamas as still right now, and certainly for the very foreseeable future, being a tourism nation, all of a sudden gaining the reputation as the leading hanging state around the world? Because when you look at the amount of murders that is happening in our country per capita, we are right up there in the worst way.
Yes.
And so if you correlate the amount of murders that we are experiencing per capita and the success rate of the police force in closing the cases and placing them before the courts, and you correlate that to, therefore, the amount of hangings that will take place in the country, that puts us in a completely insane
Numbers. Yes.
Insane, like,
Because we have to hang
you know,
plenty
and-
people.
and so I'm saying this to say that yes, the government, in my view, and in many others' view, in your view as well, the government has to do more in terms of addressing not just the legislation but the Constitution.
Yes.
Because Hubert Ingram, when he served as Prime Minister, he did a lot to try and address
Yes, he did.
punishment,
Yes.
as you know, Scrooge.
Yeah, he came
But
down
it
hard on
failed.
us. He came down hard on us, and we was top gangsters around that time. And he
Right,
did it.
right,
Yes, he came
exactly.
out hard.
But-
He came out hard.
But Scrooge, it failed because it could not stand against the Constitution.
That's
And
right.
So the Constitution has to be addressed
Yes.
if it's going to take any real root
Yes.
in the court.
Yes.
The Supreme Court justices, the Court of Appeal, nor the Privy Council could support any law that contradicts the Constitution.
You're correct.
And so the lawmakers have to make up in their mind if they want to deal with punishment for crime and make it relative to the crime that's being committed,
Yes, sir.
they have to address the Constitution.
Yes.
But beyond that, we have to go far beyond just addressing the Constitution. This crime thing is a multi-pronged, multi-layered problem, and it has to be approached on the very many and the
Different
various
fronts.
levels that impact in many instances.
You're correct.
And so we have the social impact of crime, right?
Yes, sir.
We have the housing crisis that
All
that
this
also
is about a
correlates
crime.
to crime.
All this
We
is
have-
about a crime.
We have poverty, lack
All
of
this is about a
access and
crime, yes.
opportunities that leads to crime. We have lack of education, as we all know,
High child
when I say
abuse.
education,
High child abuse as well.
I'm not. I said it against Scrooge.
High child abuse.
Yeah, all of these things leads to that aspect as well. And when I say education, everybody ain't cut out for
No,
university.
you're talking about
Everybody ain't
trades, you're talking
academically
about
inclined.
mechanics, you're talking about all this, you're talking about all of this about education. You're not talking about just going to school.
Precisely. And so the various forms of education,
Agriculture, all this education.
And so, in order for, and it's not going to happen overnight.
No, it's
because we didn't get here where we are overnight. We
50
did
years.
not get here overnight.
50
this
years.
is going to take a long haul.
For 20
and
years.
Most importantly, Scrooge, I'll end right here.
Go ahead.
Most importantly, Scrooge, it's going to take the entire
Country.
village of the Commonwealth
Yes.
of the Bahamas coming together and seeking to do their part, our
Yes.
part, in addressing crime, because you can't expect for the government alone
No.
to be trying to address crime, but it's happening in our community
Can never happen.
amongst us, and we're not doing anything to address it ourselves.
Yes.
Thanks for the opportunity, Scrooge.
Man,
Welcome.
you did a wonderful job. You did a wonderful job. Thank you, Anton. The callers he made some valid points, and all of the callers made a valid point. And, that's what it is, what he spoke about. It does not phase, hanging is not going to phase the guys from out there. Yes, it could be the deterrent, which I totally agree, and which I'm totally for. But I'm saying if we're going to hang, let's say we're going to hang 10 a time, 10 a year. All right? But that still is not going to stop us having 100 murders because it's so embedded in us. And, we're talking about 100,000 people per nation, which when you have 100 murders, that's equivalent to a conflict zone. So the Bahamas is a conflict zone. And we have to find an alternative way of addressing the prison, of addressing the community and the village so that we can prepare the village and to be the deterrent so that people don't go to prison, to be reoffenders, to become what you call heartless young men and females that comes back on the street to either rape, murder, rob, or pillage. Means they do anything they want to do. We're going to take this next call, and then we're going to go to the topic. Go ahead, caller. You're on Inside the Inner City. I'm Garden Road. Hey, good night.
Hey, Sparky, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you just a little bit. Go ahead, sir.
I down by Kelly's on Robertson. I can hardly hear you. A little pain in the background. But anyway, Scrooge, we keep saying over and over and over. And Scrooge, you got to be honest with me now. Let me listen to C. Allen, Graham, Popper, myself, 52. Basically, we saying the same thing over and over, and you also. They call us chronic callers, because most of the Bahamian people, I call them chronic listeners. Can you hear me, Scrooge?
I'm listening.
They're chronic listeners. We need the Bahamian people to get involved like Dr. Hoff said, Stop talking and put it into action. Scrooge.
Yay.
I talk about my age. I talk about what I've been through. You did the same thing. 52 did the same thing. Everybody did the same thing. We witnessed a lot of foolishness while we were growing up. Some of us did some of the things what we trying to tell the young people do not do. We did it ourselves.
So true.
Some of the things our parents, our fathers told us not to do, they did it themselves.
Yes, sir.
Recurrence, and what they say, if you continue to do the same thing over and over,
yes, sir.
you get the same results, right?
Yes, sir.
When are we going to stop talking? Like one time ago, working with BTC, Betelco, we got tired of talking. We started marching. We started saying we can meet. We go up on Friday night in the hall. We say we can meet the Southern Recreation Ground, 10 o'clock Monday. BTC march with Keith Archer, Isaac, Shane Gibson, Farkey, Snitch. We march and march. Then after we doing our marching for our rights, then BC join us. Then Water and Sewer join us. Then the government start listening. You remember that?
Right.
Hello?
Yeah, listening. You're listening.
You remember one time we shut down the bridge? We shut down Bay Street. We turned off one call from the president, tell the boys at Prospect Ray, and football track. He said, tonight, let your wife and your families know your telephone's going off.
Yes, sir.
We start cutting the phones off. Water and sewer start, the fellas working with water and sewer, they start cutting the water off.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, PEC start cutting the light off. The government start listening. All of us got our contract signed within that week. We got what we wanted, and the Bahamian people was proud. Because guess what? A lot of people were saying, fire them, fire them, fire them. But a lot of the wives at home realized that their husbands was bringing home more money. You understand?
Yes, sir.
And start working, because every 5 years we go through the same route, the same thing. And sometimes I wonder why. Well, Graham running for the COI up in San Souci. I think C. Allen going with the F&M in Grand Bahama. But now people like yourself, people like 52, people like Papa, people like all these people, and Antoine, who could call every day, know everything, got an answer for everything. They need to put their hat in the race too. Instead of talking, be man, come to the front of the line, and let's change the country. Because if we keep putting the same people back in over and over, you can get the same result.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Al. Let me take this next call. Thank you very much, Sparky. Go ahead, call you on Inside the Inner City on Garden Radio.
Hey, brother, what's happening?
Good night, good night.
I listen to you every Friday. This is the first time or the second time, maybe, I'm really calling.
Go ahead, sir.
I want to just say something.
Go ahead. Speak your mind.
Hanging is not a deterrent for crime.
Go ahead, sir.
Hanging is for the punishment
That's right.
for the crime in which you do. When you run the red light and the police see you, that's a penalty.
Yes, sir.
When you steal and you get charged, that's a penalty. Hanging is a deterrent for crime, for killing. People talk about the young man them from a single parent killing. That's a lie.
It's all around. It's all around.
The murder that was ever done in the world was done by a couple, Adam and Eve.
Yes, sir.
Okay? So let's not be trying to fool ourselves.
You're right, sir. You're right. You're going right to the beginning.
Let's be real with this thing, man. You know, I don't know if you're commenting on the 8-year-old alleged suicide.
I'm going to talk with it later for you.
That is troublesome.
Yes, it's a sign.
Troubling.
It's a sign for the country.
Very, very troubling. I have a 6-year-old granddaughter, and I looked that up. She's 2 years from 8.
Yes, sir.
All she had is a little doll baby comb in her ear, go on a tablet. Then she tied it up, turn on the TV, watch some guy. I mean, 8-year-old. Let's be real, my friend.
That's a sign for us.
For an 8-year-old to talk full because that is unknown.
And that's
that is. I can't believe it.
I can't believe it either. But the question
there
is.
has to be something else.
Yes, there's something else going on. Something else going on.
I heard that the young man, the little boy, was challenged. You know, so I don't know if somebody got tired. I don't know. But it's hard for me to believe.
8-year-old take it.
8-year-old can commit suicide.
Yeah, wow.
Come on, let's be real, man. You grow up in the bottom. You know how 8-year-olds just run around.
They are child.
That niggas ain't got no time for that. Them little boys can't go try going to basketball court. They can't go try play karate and kicking in.
Their mind ain't developed. Their mind ain't developed for them to take their life. Their mind isn't developed. Yes.
8-year-old to put something around is first of all to tie take plenty knife to tie something on the railing, so they say a belt, and then put it around. It's more than this. It's something else.
Yes.
But see, guess what, my friend? In closing, let me tell you this. God don't sleep.
Yes, sir.
God don't sleep.
Yes, sir.
them little children, they're
Suffering.
God's own. But when you born with a child,
Yes, sir. The Father tells you.
boy, listen to me, yeah?
Yes, sir.
This is troubling to me today, man.
Yes.
This hurt me today, boy.
Yes,
This
sir.
hurt me, my friend.
Yes, because see, you feel that you have children, so a child, even though it's not your child, but you're still connected. You know, you're still connected. You're still connected. You're connected. Yes, you're connected.
Grandchild.
We all family. We all family.
something, man.
Yes, we all family.
But I am hoping that, boy, trust me.
Yes, sir. I feel it. I feel it. Yes, I see deep down your heart it hurts you because, like I said, we all a tree. We all a leaf on a tree. You understand? And what this affects each and every one of us. That right there is a sad sign for the country. And what surprises me about we so-called as a Christian nation is where are the Christian pastors and stuff to speak on these matters and dig into these type of matters and have this type of discussion going on with our country. This is a sign. Thank you very much for calling in. We're going to take this next call and then we can go to the topic. Go ahead, caller, if you're still there. You still there, Chris? I guess still left. We have one more caller. If you're there, caller, go ahead.
All is well, buddy?
Yes, sir. Good night to you.
Yeah, man, I agree with not this caller who just was on just now, but the previous one. I think that was your boy, my papa.
Okay.
It's time for us. I include myself in this as well. Understand?
Yes,
all
sir.
of us. You, me, you. Like he say, all the people who call on the radio station today. CC Allen and the other guy already go do it. They go on to whatever party they
and
feel,
Graham Rutherford to make a difference.
they're comfortable with.
Yes, sir.
You understand? We need to do the same thing. You understand? We might not have the
Connections.
financing.
Yes.
You understand? We might not have the
resources,
the education.
Yes, sir.
You understand? But we love this country.
I would agree with that.
It's time now for persons who love this country to step forward, put their names forward, and try and change this country. Because if we stick with this status quo that's continuing to go on day by day, year by year, every 5 years,
we could be finished.
My children who I have here now, I can't see a future for them in this country.
You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen. Your daughter go to where your son go to.
I can't leave here.
Yeah.
Not knowing I ain't trying my hardest.
Yeah.
To try to do my best to try and improve and change our country to the direction that I want it to go. And leave them here and suffer. I can't do that.
You build a nice house, you get the resources, but outside, your child ain't safe. You
Exactly.
can't,
I can't protect them
you
out
can't
there,
protect them out there. You understand? Yeah, I feel you.
Understand?
Yes, sir.
I can't protect them out there.
And that's why we have to get together and try to change the direction so our kids can be safe
So
when they leave the house.
I can call it. You can give me a number, man.
Okay, brother.
You see, I can call next week.
Yeah.
We all gentlemen of like-minded to sit together, and that's the only way we could get this country moving forward.
I agree.
You understand?
Yes, sir.
We've been on this road, like Papa say, we don't do things.
Yeah, all of us,
So
man.
we as men.
Yeah, we mature now.
You understand? You turn from a boy to a man.
Yes, that's a maturity.
Exactly.
You ain't making them teenagers mistakes no more.
Man.
You
It's the only
understand the
country we got. It's all
consequences,
we
and now
have.
you understand life. That's why we grow ourselves
Yes, sir.
groom
Yes,
ourselves.
sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Take my call, man.
Thank you, man. It's my pleasure, man, because you guys, I always wanted to have a show where you guys could be a part of it and give you all input, and that's how I am as a citizen, because I feel that we're on the same page, and I have in the discussion, they bring up the topics, and sometimes you guys can bring up a topic, but the most important part about it is that you guys talk about exactly what's happening, you all talk about the solution. So I'm very grateful to each and every one of you. We're going to take this last call. Caller, you there?
Yeah, Scrooge.
Hey, you say 52? Man, everyone like you, man, 52? Everyone like you, though, 52.
Yes, I didn't hear you.
I say everyone like you, 52.
Yeah, man, everybody like you too, man. You see the brother too, just hang up too, and see, like one thing I respect you for, you could come on the radio and say something that's true also, but
Yeah.
but I want to make a little simple analogy with the death penalty. I don't have to be a social scientist
Yes.
to see what is ethical here. What I'm saying is, Scrooge, I can't agree with killing every gang member or killing everybody that kills someone. That doesn't make sense. So I have to see what I don't understand what you are saying, right? But what I'm saying is, Scooby, the fact that no death penalty for nobody, you see what I'm saying? None, no case is the waste of the waste.
So who fault is
the
that?
case is the case.
But who fault is that? It's not me, not us as citizens, It's not our fault. Go ahead. No, I'm just saying it is not our fault.
But what I'm saying is, you got what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, in all instances, you trying to tell me across the board, nobody deserves the death penalty. That's what I'm saying. So the fact that there's no death, that you don't see the death penalty being carried out.
You need to ask the government. You got to ask the government, the prime minister, the judiciary system, and stuff like that.
Because I agree. I agree. Because what I'm saying is, someone shoot someone, and someone shoot them back,
and they got brought guilty.
The thing is, one thing I hear about the death penalty as it relates to the poor and the disenfranchised is the judicial system in which young men go to court without a lawyer and being like they don't have the rights. They're not equal on par with the status quo like the gentleman was talking about previously. So what I'm saying is, and then the lack of forensic and real professional work here, where you videotapes, etc., no false confessions, etc., etc. So even if everything was camera and audio, the police wouldn't have the onus wouldn't lie on the police to say they did them and Ray. So what I'm saying is, me personally think that the status quo nations who saying the death penalty should be abolished, I think they really want us to kill one another because they already have the data on how much killing we just do in third world. So if you saying no death penalty, that means you just saying let them niggas kill one another. Really. That's how I see it. Because some people deserve the death penalty, my brother. That's all I say. Give thanks,
I'm all for the death penalty. I'm just saying, I'm all for the death penalty. I'm just saying that one person getting hanged is not going to be a deterrent. I'm saying that we prosecute about 17 murders per year. We get a conviction about 6 or 7, but we've had convictions going back 10, 15 years with people who get convicted for the death penalty and they're in prison, right? So why are they not getting hanged when they lose all their appeals? So I'm saying to you, I'm saying to the general public, hanging one person isn't going to make a difference, okay? Just like today, right now, if you're beef with somebody, right? And you and your boy going to say y'all going to kill somebody. By killing that person, you're going to make things worse because that person get other people. You understand? That person get cousins and brothers and might have a next hot brother, because we have seen where a woman has lost 4 sons this year alone. I know an ex-lady who have lost 3 of her sons, okay? 3 of her sons got killed separately, one after the next. So that means when they kill that brother, the next brother going after those guys. And when he going after those guys, and he probably killed one of them or shoot or marked him. And when he got killed, his next brother gone to deal with guys them. But it keeps going on and going on and going on until it plays itself out, and we neutralize one another. You understand? So like I say, I am all for it. I'm just saying that, hanging one person isn't going to make a difference, That's a slap in the face in the justice system when you get 100 murders per year. You only could prosecute 17 murders per year or 100 murders, and we ain't hanging nobody. And if we're going to hang, we're going to hang one person. That doesn't make sense. Where's the justice for the other hundreds of people who lost their lives for other families out there? Show me where the justice is. One family is going to rejoice. And mind, this is a black on black now. I just want you all to understand this. Yes, the person do the crime. I'm not taking it for the person who does the crime. I'm just saying, think about the whole picture here. Think about the whole picture here. Black on black. That's all I'm trying to say. Not a white man in prison. Who kill the next black man or kill the next white man. Black on black, black on black, black on black, black on black, black on black. You understand? So when we hang, we still hanging a black person. But yes, we should hang those who do heinous crimes against their people. Once we have all the proper resources, evidence. But it ain't me. I ain't the privy counsel. I only saying what I saying because I've been on the streets and when they hang the first person, okay? Listen to me. The most person get hanged in the country come with a grandstand, okay? Let me just tell you that. All the Thomas Rackley them, Popeye them, all of them used to live through Lewis Street and hang in that constituency. And I had a friend in 1996. My friend David Mitchell, he got hanged when he was convicted for the deaths of 2 Australian or Canadian tourists on the Family Island. Within 2 years, see, this is the difference here, what I want you all to understand. Within 2 years, I think David Mitchell got hanged. Now, we have people who committed murder way before him, 10 years before him, who got convicted for murder, but they never got brought up to be hanged in the country. But when it was an international incident, He got hanged within 2-3 years. David Mitchell. And that was my good friend. He left from around me here in National Providence. He used to live in Mason. He used to hang up there with Chief Marvin Bodie. But he was my boy. And he used to come hail me. He told me when he got to the island. And when I look in the newspaper the next 6-7 months, he was doing good. When I listened, he was doing work for the people. And he's doing that very well. When I listen now, he is involved in a double murder, husband and wife. And then I listen, in 2 years' time, he got, 2 years, he got convicted. And listen, hey, that was it for him. So why these things ain't happening in other cases in the country? The last person to get hanged in the country. And David was only what? David was only about 26, 27 when this happened. Because that's the age we were. And that's the kind of life we were living in. And at the same time when David Mitchell get hanged, us who was on the streets who were involved in violent crime, involved in murders and armed robbery and doing violent crime in the country, we said that, hey, what? We ain't leaving no evidence or no witness. And if you look over the course of the last 20 years, you ain't had a lot of witnesses were targeted. It's because the criminals themselves, in order to beat the case, they understand that you got to get rid of the witness. And with all this stuff now going on with criminal investigation department, alleged, it gives one the time to think, because we heard reports of officers giving information to guys who were involved in the streets on the case and who give evidence, who looking out for the Bahamian people, who looking out for the judiciary, who going to put their life on the line to give evidence and give statements to convict a person who is responsible for the murder. Then we had persons who they say was involved in the law enforcement would go and give the confidential information to these individuals who they was involved with. You understand? So let's go deep. Let's go deep in the country, people. You know, let's go deep in the country. Money talks. It ain't about innocent or guilty. You understand? Remember I tell you the lady who was accused of killing her husband, she went to prison. She appealed the case of technicality, saying that the prison wasn't hospitable to her, etc., etc. She appealed it. She was a multi-millionaire, right? She's the only one who was in the hotel, eh? And she won a case. So it's not about who innocent or guilty. It seems like money talks, but I know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. But you remember a lady, what his name is now? Walshy. She was accused of killing her husband, and she got convicted of killing her husband. Then she appealed the case within a 2 year period. She won a case, and then she left the country. So who killed her husband? Same thing with the defense force officer accused of killing the defense force officer by the most guarded place where the governor general is stayed, the residence of the governor general. And the defense force officer was accused of killing the next defense force officer. But yet still up to this day, he was acquitted, and we still have not found the person responsible for the murder, and yet still it's happening on the government ground where it's supposed to be the most protected place in the country. But yet still, a murder went down there, a case was tried, and up to this day, a dead defense force officer whose body was on the ground, up to this day, person who charged for it is a free man, but yet still up to this day, there's no one has been investigated for this murder. So it's a tricky situation. So I want to play my second flip. I just want to show you where we came from when I say black, but this is a flick from a dedication to Sidney Poitier. I want to be him and show you where we came from, us Bahamians. Go ahead, Mr.
The world I knew was quite simple. I didn't know there was such a thing as electricity or that water could come into the house through a pipe. I never thought about what I looked like. I didn't know what a mirror was.
When you grow up in a community where everything you know is powerful and good and it's black, there's no concept of race that defines Sidney Poitier.
I left the Bahamas with this sense of myself. And from the time I got off the boat, America began to say to me, you're not who you think you are. I'm a black man in a white. There was a habit in Hollywood of utilizing blacks in the most disrespectful ways. And I said, I cannot play that.
I don't think Sidney ever played a subservient part.
Never plucked his eyes, never ducked his head. They call me Mr. Tibbs. I'm a black man in a white world. I'm a black man in a white world.
It was the first time I had seen a black man assert his power.
I'm a giant, and I'm surrounded by ants.
I wanted to marry Sidney Poitier.
He was like, wow, movie stars. Wow.
Biggest box office draw, Black Man, 1967-68. And the whole country is spiraling around him.
We're hanging together by a few cultural threads, and Sidney Poitier is one of those cultural threads.
The winner is Sidney Poitier.
It's not easy being the first when you have to represent the entire race.
He had big shoulders. He was given big shoulders, but he had to carry a lot of weight.
If there were equality of opportunity in this business, there'd be 15 Sidney Poitiers and 10 or 12 Belafontes. But there is not.
The other way around.
Watch it.
He's going to put black people in positions where they can have a career behind the camera.
He came to this earth to move it, to change it, to shake it.
You think of yourself as a colored man. I think of myself as the man.
That's the summary of him.
I love him so much.
My life has had more than a few wonderful, indescribable turns. And I have lived them.
Yeah, that's our own Sir Sidney Poitier, and how he left the Bahamas struggling, and when he went to the United States of America and got his opportunity to be in some of the greatest set of movies ever produced, and one of the first black men to ever act, and actually, you know, the slap, when he slapped a white man on the movie set, which, you know, was a very interesting and fascinating to show the power of a black man and how he was standing for what's right. And like he said, you know, not a racist, he is a man. As a nation, people to greatness, and we need to provide a reset of our young people's mind. And I'm going to read something what the Prime Minister talked about at the later part of the show. We have about 25 more minutes. So I'm going to take these calls. I have 2 calls, and then I'm going to go back and play my last video flick. Elroy, again, I know you're listening. Like I said, I had 3 things I'm already sending to the office. Wasn't able to play your flick this week, but most definitely next week, Godspell Life, I will play it. Okay, my brother? Elroy Bryce. Old crooked Elroy. Go ahead, caller.
Hello.
You're inside in the city. Go ahead.
Hello.
Go ahead. Who's this?
Scrooge?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, sorry to call back. Let me tell you something. I heard you talk about Sidney Poitier. There's also positives and negatives to certain things. We used to call him Uncle Sidney. I know we used to go up in Vincent and everything to his home and everything with Cabbage Poitier, Jeff Poitier and everything around the pool and everything. All that kind of thing. You remember him and Bill Cosby and all of them, Sammy Davis Jr. and them, came to Bahamas while they was helping the PLP come to power?
Yes. 1966.
Hello?
Yes, I can remember. I remember. I wasn't born yet, but I know the stories because it happened right in Grandstand. It happened right in Grandstand.
Yeah, they came to the Bahamas
On the government grant.
PLP come to power.
Yes.
So did Freddie Munson Sr.
All those. Martin Luther King.
A bunch of people helped them fellas come to power.
Martin Luther King Jr.
They helped the people. I say they helped the black brothers from the United States.
Gladys Knights, Muhammad Ali.
Come to power.
Got Muhammad Ali, all those guys. All those played an important role.
The PLP come to power.
Yes.
Who turned back on their own people?
The PLP.
Huh?
The PLP? The old.
They turned back on Freddie Munson Sr., who used to lend them the cotton fiddle for the campaign.
That just men. Unappreciative
they
men.
back on plenty people.
That's
and throw them in the graveyard.
Yes.
Carlton Francis.
Yes.
A bunch of them, when that power hit them.
The black, what you call it, the black crop syndrome with destroying us?
That's been a natural thing from that same group of people.
Yes.
From time immemorial.
Yes, we just went away from it.
But hey, and guess what? And it's still happening today.
Yes. The
They will
tribalism.
use you today and stab you tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
But what I'm saying, Scrooge, is I didn't get a chance to touch the hanging thing.
Well, I gotta go. I gotta go to people who call it.
Look here. It was locked into deterrent. It was meant to be a punishment.
That's right.
God said, if you take a life, yours will be taken also.
Yes, sir. You're correct, Mr. Sparky. It was not to be a deterrent. That's what people need to understand. It was a punishment. If you take a life, you were supposed to be punished in front of the people. And like I said, if you take a life, yes, it ain't us who is not executing the death penalty. It's the private council, it's people in England who decided that it's unhuman, and etc. So for us, if we can't hang, then we need to change the mindset of our youths in the country. We have to find an alternative solution. And that's what it means for us. Because we're saying we want harsher punishment, 9 years for raping an elderly woman, etc. And we want a harsher punishment. But there can be no harsher punishment than hanging. So they have decided to really not hang and to give you lifetime, and which in lifetime is not really lifetime. You understand? You still could get it within 20 years, regardless of the heinous crime you do. So for us to safeguard ourselves now, since we get this block on block, and Sparky talk about Carlton, Francis, and stuff being victimized from people in the Progressive Liberal Party. That's not the whole party. Those were individuals who hold the power at that time, who gained that power. And instead of them, used the power to help grow the country and push those who fought for the country. They used their power to bring down one another. They brought down Carlton Francis. They brought down, what's his name is, Edmund Moxie, when he came up with that great idea of how to empower Bahamians in the inner city community by helping the tourists come over the hill and spend American dollars hand to hand, directly. And that was very beneficial. And he got fight down for that. Carlton Francis spoke up on national issues about empowering the Bahamian people. So you had individuals inside the party itself, not the entire PLP party, but individuals who forgot the contribution of Aretha Franklin, all those who were coming to the Bahamas here, coming to the Cat and Fiddle, the Munnings family, the Ronald Fox family, who contributed greatly to fighting for the workers' right in the country. So yes, most definitely. You can play the last clip for me, please. And I just want the Bahamian people, do not give up. Now I want you to listen to this woman's story. It's no different than Sir Sidney Poitier, right? Just listen to this lady. Never give up. Go ahead.
On any given day, you'll find Kim DeVoe in her garage carving another wooden work of art as gospel music blares in the background. The wife and mom stumbled upon this new passion more than 10 years ago during a dark period in her life as her family fought to keep its home and pay the bills.
By this time, my children were put out of school. My daughter was in college. She got put out of college. The house was up. The mortgage was up. We almost got put out of the house. The car was repossessed, the light was off, the water was off, the phone was off, and the other kids were put out of high school. But there is a God. I said, God, show me what you want me to do.
That's when she met American carver Lou Jensen online and started engraving.
So I started with coconut. I found coconuts and I started to engrave. And my first piece was called Broken But Beautiful. And it says, sometimes in life you go through things, you feel broken, but God makes beauty out of your brokenness. I started with the coconut, and then I tried the conch shell.
3 years later, she met a local wood turner who gave her pieces of wood to practice on. From plaques, cutting boards, doors, and trophies to this remembrance table, which she donated to the church.
I got a piece of a huge mahogany tree from a lady in Westridge. And it had been down for several years. And we took it and got it milled and cut. And I had it in the back here for about a couple months. And one morning I got up, I said, Lord, you've been good to me, you've blessed my hands. So I'm gonna give back to church, to ministry.
The jewel in her garage is this one-of-a-kind piece carved out of a $4,000 piece of bottle brushwood from a tree that fell during Hurricane Matthew in 2016. It took DeVoe 8 months to carve this masterpiece, which was inspired by Bahamian marine life.
Took me all day just to carve the shark. Next morning I got up, I did the octopus. I spent the whole day carving the octopus, and each day I got up, I did something different. So it wasn't like all of the theme came one day. 8 months of continuous work, day in and day out. It took me to make this and all the fine details on it. But it's called Under the Sea. And it has blue resin to represent the water in the Bahamas.
The woodcarver also created part of a woman's silhouette, comprising one representing the different challenges women face.
Mental abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse. Some have gone through drug abuse. Some have fallen out and burst their knees, okay? But yet, through all the trauma they've been through, they can put on expensive high heel shoes, and they're gonna step out and look good, and when they get home, they're gonna relax. So each of the wood is a Bahamian wood, but this piece made from the heel is the most expensive wood.
DeVoe's work has caught the attention of local and international companies which have commissioned awards.
During the pandemic, what kept me sane while everybody else was having mental issues, I did the Cacique Awards during the pandemic. So at 6 o'clock in the morning, I was out here working. This was the only noise you heard in Coral Harbor was my machines working. I worked from sundown to sunup, and for me, mentally, it was ideal.
However, she says wood carving isn't just a business, it's a passion.
I live for what I do. I wake up in the mornings excited. 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm up. My mind is just ticking as to what I'm going to do.
Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Vonique Tude.
Good story, and I'm encouraging people. And that is an elderly lady. She looked like she was in her 40s, if I'm correct, in her 50s, and she never gave up on her dreams and looking for an opportunity. You hear what she said? She said she praised the God and let God come up with an idea in the wood carving. Antonio Roberts, our most famous artist, he does sculptures and he makes thousands. He's a very wealthy man in the country, okay? And this is the kind of education we're talking about. We're not talking about the school education like Anton, was also mentioned, not just the education in school. It's about getting the education from persons who are gifted, like Antonio Roberts, this lady, she was able to go into sculpture. And she was an elderly lady. That's what inspired me. So for you out there, and this is how you change your mindset in the country, okay? This is the education that we need. Chester Cooper is in his hometown of Exuma, where he represents his constituency. And he just gave the guides them sniping, He gave them what you call grants. You know how important that's going to be for those individuals now to get grants. And they're tour guides. This is about changing their mindset and giving them the opportunity. You understand? With the grants now they can be able to, might could get some bicycle or get a motorbike or whatever it is that they need for transportation. Might need it for radios and stuff like that. So when they're talking to the tourists, they could listen to them. You got to be sophisticated. You're walking with tourists and stuff like that. And they're on bicycles, so you could have your radio connected to each and every one of them while you're talking. So you could use this money to enhance your trade or your business, So I just want to know there. That lady, she was 40-something or 50-something, or she could be older. I'm not saying I really don't know her age, but she's elderly, and she said she did that 10 years ago now. You see what she's doing? The Cacique Award. Why is the COVID-19 pandemic is going on? And she said that why is everyone's going through their mental health issues with the lockdown? She was able to relax herself by doing something constructive. And look what, she was able to pay all the bills now and making a good living as a sculptor now, all right? Antonio Roberts is a millionaire in the country of sculptures. There are many other trades that can be instituted to kids in school, to those out there who would like to have a better future at something they might not understand, but eventually, like I said, the lady, she said that, she asked God. So, yes. So I just want to read this real quick. Just recently with the young gentleman getting killed, with him holding his baby in his hand. The prime minister of the country, and most people would say, he or the government does not care for the citizen in the country. And the cost of living in the Bahamas is very expensive. All right? I mean, closing on 100 murders. Not only that, we have a lot of housing issues in the country. We are one of the richest Caribbean countries in the world, but yet still we have high unemployment in the country. So these things, even though the government of the country and the prime minister and deputy prime minister doing a good job business-wise and running the country, there's still a lot needs to be improved, and many people out there are disgruntled and they're not feeling the trickling down effect from the government. So these initiatives are actually starting small business and stuff like that is very important in the country. So the government needs to step up. So yeah, I just want to read it quick. The Prime Minister said in response to the events that I talked about earlier about the young man getting killed with him holding this young baby in his hands. The Prime Minister says, underscore the need for a reset of our young people's mind as he condemned the recent murder of a young father and others. Mr. Davis told reporters that his administration was doing its best to address the surge in violent crime and point to efforts to ensure these youths were significantly engaged to discourage idle hands. My heart goes out to family of the deceased. The senseless killing that is going on, it's unacceptable. We're doing our best to curb this vicious crime. It really requires a reset of our young people's minds and to appreciate that there is a lot here, a lot of positive things that we can. That's they ought to be, and that's why you got to build a village. You have to build a village and put these innovative ideas in the village, like bringing BTVI, bringing Bombsey in the inner city community, bringing the fishing industry in the community, bringing small business in the community, bringing social development of low-cost homes and repairing homes in the inner city community is essential. We have a 9-some million visitors come to our shores every year. We have million visitors come to our shores every year. We have average $9-some billion of the tourism product last year alone in 2023 alone. So how are we going to be able to change the mindset? We can if we put all the necessary components in the school, trading classes in the school, teaching business and money management, small business be allowed in the inner city communities, along with housing projects, community centers, and even we need even now see how we could put a small bank that can lend small businesses funds, like how we had the penny saving bank many years ago. So these are the things that we need to do to change the mindset. And the Prime Minister is on cue, but Mr. Prime Minister, you have to find creative persons in the country and support those persons. Mr. Prime Minister, you could say these things, right? And I think that you're a decent person, but I think that you're over-exerted. You don't have all hands on deck, but you can reach a lot of people. So I don't know how you're going to be able to reach those who have the greatest ideas and plans to carry the country forward. You have to take the little man serious, because the little man who are talking these solutions in the country might have the key to turn and run. Only if you're all to the top can listen. So let me read real quick. He says here, we do our best to curb the vicious crime. It really requires a reset of young people's mind to appreciate their lives, to do positive. We have to ensure that we don't have the many idle hands around, because idle hands are the work of the devil. We are working to ensure that we have everyone engaged with our young men and women. The Prime Minister spoke on the sidelines of the annual National conclave of Chambers of Commerce in the Bahamas at Marriott Beach Resort. His comments came in wake of the recent killing outside of a super wash on Blue Hill Road Thursday night. That Carlos Joseph, who was shot and killed on Tuesday while holding his 8-month-old child in his hand. Okay. We're completely out of time. And like I said, Mr. Prime Minister, like you said, idle hands. And in the city community, we have to develop. You're going to have to get on the ground, find the right set of people, where they're not inclined to be a part of the PLP or FNM, but they're persons who are concerned about the country, who have ideas. You're going to have to work with those directly in the city community. Have regular meetings with these persons, Mr. Prime Minister, who are doing great in their community, and see if you could help sponsor them if they have some nice ideas. Also, the private sector needs to link with persons who are interested in helping their community. I'm getting the help that I need slowly but surely in the city community. I'm not talking this, I'm doing this. You know, we have 3 community centers being built. I'm building my restaurant. I'm trying to start at least 20 small businesses in that community every year until it increase. I'm trying to get a tourist to come in there in the city community. I'm trying to bring, like I said, bring small business directly. I have Mark Turnquest, who I'll be working directly with the small business in my community. He would be the main man I'd be working with, along with Samana Rule from the Office of the Prime Minister, who's in charge of the small business development, to give those out there in my community an opportunity to tap into the market, to change their mindset so they have a wonderful future in the country. To all the callers who call in, you guys did a wonderful job, and I hope to see you next week on Guardian Radio. So, Mr. Prime Minister, like you say, you need to be creative and innovative. There are people in this country who are innovative. They are not a part of the